Hello everybody, my name's Anne.
Hi kids, welcome to another story with Dixie and Dixie's Storytime World. The Clumsy Crocodile.
The clumsy crocodile.
Chapter 1. Everglades. Cassie Green was on her way to work. It was the very first day of her new job. She was going to work at Everglades, the biggest and best store in town. It sold things you just couldn't buy anywhere else. So, when Cassie got a job there, she was as pleased as Punch.
Cassie Green was on her way to work. It was the very first day of her new job. She was going to work at Everglades, the biggest and best store in the town. It sold things you just couldn't buy anywhere else. So when Cassie got a job there, she was as pleased as Punch.
First, Cassie was sent to work in the china department. After only 10 minutes, she had sold 60 cups and saucers to a very rich lady. She was doing well. Cassie packed the china carefully into a box. She was as gentle as a crocodile can be, but maybe just a little slow. The lady began to get impatient.
First, Casey was sent to work in China department. After only 10 minutes, she had sold 16 cups and saucers to a very rich lady. She was doing well. Cassie packed the china carefully into a box. She was as gentle as crocodile can be. But maybe just a little slow. The lady began to get impatient.
Cassie quickly tied a big bow on the box. She didn't want the lady to be cross, not her very first customer. But as Cassie picked up the box, disaster struck. She packed it upside down. 60 cups and saucers smashed onto the floor. The customer stamped her foot angrily and left.
Cassie quickly tied a big bow on the box. She didn't want the lady to be crossed. Now, not her very first customer, but as Cassie picked up the box, this designer truck. Now, be careful. She packed it upside down, 60 cups and saucers mashed onto the floor. Customer stamped her foot angrily and left. Oop!
Next, Cassie was sent to the toy department. She hoped there was less to break. She didn't want any more accidents. I must put this ball away, she thought. Someone could trip over it and have a bad fall. But as she bent down, her tail swung out behind her. The Toy Town Express was knocked right off its rails.
Next, Cassie was sent to the toy department. She hoped there was the less to break. She didn't want any more accident. I must put this ball away, she thought. Someone could trip over it and have a bad fall. But as she bent down, her tail swung out behind her. The Toy Town Express and knocked right off his rail.
So she was sent to the food hall. But there, things went from bad to worse. Cassie tripped over a stool. A bowl of salad flew into the air and landed on Ernest Everglade's head. Ernest Everglade owned the department store. He was Cassie's boss, and he was not a happy man. "Go to my office," he yelled. "Now!" Trembling, Cassie obeyed.
So she was sent to the float hall. But there things went from bad to worse. Oof! Cassie tripped over a stool. A bowl of salad flew into the air and landed on Ernest Everglade's head. Ernest Evergrass under the department store. He was crazy, and he was not a happy man. Go out! Go to my office! He yelled. Now! Trembling Cassie obeyed.
The two, a cross boss. Ernest Everglade was furious. He liked salad, but not on his head. Go and don't ever come back, he told Cassie. I don't want a clumsy crocodile in my store. Cassie begged and pleaded. She pleaded and begged. Just give me one more chance. I'll be very careful, she promised. But Mr. Everglade was more interested in his newspaper. He wasn't even listening to Cassie. I'll pay for anything I break. At last, he looked up. I don't have time for you, he sighed. Some jewel thieves are in town, the famous Greedy Boys. Cassie gasped. Everyone had heard of the Greedy Boys, but she still wanted her job back. She began to cry. Now,
Instead, Evergrass was furious. He let salad but not on his head. Go and don't ever come back, he told Cassie. I don't want a clumsy crocodile in my store. She begged and pleased and began. Just give me one more chance. I'll be very careful, she promised. But Mr. Evergrass was more interested in his newspaper. He wasn't even listening to Casey. I pay for anything I break. At last, he looked up. I don't have time for you, he said. Some well-thrift are in the town, the famous Greedy Boy. Cassie gasped. Everyone had heard to the Greedy Boy, but she still wanted her job back. She began to cry.
Mr. Everglade couldn't stand crying. He would do anything to stop it. Okay, he said. Go to the luxury goods department first thing Monday morning. Oh, thank you. You won't regret it. I promise. Chapter 3. Getting it.
Now, Mr. Evergrass couldn't stand crying. He would do anything to stop it. Okay, he says. Go to the luxury department first thing Monday morning. Oh, thank you. I won't regret it, I promise.
Right. The next day was Sunday. Cassie worked hard at home getting ready for Monday. She emptied her cupboards and stacked everything inside them. She stacked every pot, plate, cup, and saucer in the house. The stacks got wobblier and wobblier, and higher and higher. Next, she found paper, scissors, ribbon, and tape. She wrapped everything she could get her hands on. Why a ball so round? When she finished wrapping, Cassie was exhausted. All she wanted to do was sit down. But when she looked for her comfiest chair, there was just one small problem.
The next was Sunday. Cassie worked hard at home, getting ready for Monday. She emptied her cupboard and scraped everything inside them. He tracked every pot, plate, cup, and saucer in the house. The start got wobblier and wobblier, higher and higher. Next, she found paper, scissors, ribbons, and tape. She wrapped everything she could get her hand on. Why are balls so round? When she finished wrapping, Cassie was exhausted and all she wanted to do was sit down. But when she looked for her comfort chairs, there was one more small problem.
So she set up her mirror and served imaginary customers. A flying pig. Try the pet department, sir. I'm sorry, madame. We don't sell crocodile skin handbags. You don't like your spotted socks, sir? I'll change them at once. And she smiled her toothy crocodile smile until her whole face ached. Mr. Everglade will be proud of me. Finally, Cassie put on her Everglades badge and admired herself in the mirror. She looked perfect. Chapter 4. Cassie.
So she sat at her mirror and servers imaginary customer, a flying pig. Try the pants department, sir. I'm sorry, madam. We don't sell crocodile skin handbag. You don't like your spotted socks, sir. I'll train them as one. And she smiled her pretty crocodile smile to her whole face arches. I can't have you. Mr. Grace Evergrace will be proud to me. Finally, Cassie put on her Evergrade bag and admired herself in the mirror. She looked perfect.
Charge. On Monday morning, Cassie was the first to arrive in the luxury goods department. Only the security guard was there. He had been guarding the store during the night. The guard was finishing his breakfast. He was very pleased to see Cassie. Now he could go home to bed. I'll be off now, you're here. Cassie was nervous. She didn't want to be left alone in the store. Do you?
Cassie changed. On Monday morning, Cassie was the first to arrive in the luxury goods department. A little security guard was there. He had been worrying the store during the night. The guard was finishing his breakfast. He was very pleased to see Cassie. Now he could go home to bed. I'll be off now you are here. Cassie was nervous. She didn't want to be left alone in the store. Do you have to go?
To go? You'll be fine, said the guard. Just keep an eye on the Everglades emeralds. Don't worry, you can count on me. The guard left. Cassie wasn't nervous anymore. She felt important. She was in charge. The Everglades emerald was the most expensive thing in the store. It was kept in a case of extra strong glass. Cassie thought it was the most beautiful jewel she had ever seen. But Cassie...
You'll be fine, said the guard. Just keep an eye on the Everglades emerald. Don't worry, you can count on me. The guard left. Cassie wasn't nervous anymore. She felt important. She was in chains. The Everglades emerald was the most expensive thing in the store. It was kept in a case of extra strong glass. Cassie thought it was the most beautiful jewel she had ever seen.
Wasn't the only one admiring the emerald. Hiding behind a pot were Nigel and Rupert, the greedy boys. What a beauty, sighed Nigel. But look at that case, said Rupert. How will we ever break the glass? Never fear, Nigel whispered, and as Cassie wandered away from the emerald, Nigel took something from his pocket. Chapter.
But Cassie wasn't the only one carrying the emerald, hiding behind the pot. Nigel and Rupert, the greedy boy. That's beautiful, said Nigel. But look at that case, said the bat. How will we ever break the glass? Never fed, Nigel whispered. And as Cassie walked away from the mirror, Nigel took something from his pocket.
5. Disaster. Nigel held up a small whistle. My secret weapon, he said. It can't be heard by humans, but it can. He put the whistle to his lips and blew. The case exploded. Shattered glass, he finished. He grinned. The Everglades emerald was theirs for the taking. At last, gasped Rupert. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Nigel and Rupert sneaked out from their hiding place. Their eyes glittered with greed. Now to collect our prize, said Nigel.
Nigel held up a small whiskey. My secret weapon. He said it can be hurt by human, but it can't. He put the whisker to his sleeve and threw the case in part. The shattered glass. He finished. He grinned. The Everglades emerald was there for the taking. Tinkle. At last, gasped Rupert. I can't wait to get my hand on it. Nigel and Rupert speak out from their hiding place. Their eyes glittered with greed. How to collect our prize, said Nigel.
Everglades. Gasped Rupert. I can't wait to get my hand. We'll be the richest men in the world. The thieves crept close to the emerald, but Nigel had made a big mistake. He was right about humans not being able to hear his whistle. What he didn't know was that animals could hear it. Hey, thought Casey, the Toy Town Express. She spun around, ready to race to the toy department, forgetting her tail, which swung around too. This time it hooked a priceless pearl necklace. Cassie tugged her tail. Oops! The necklace snapped. Pearls went everywhere, and Cassie went flying. So did the greedy boys. The rolling pearls sent them skidding to the floor. They tumbled to the ground, bringing the Everglades emerald with them. Cassie.
The thief crept closer to the emeralds, but Nigel had made a big mistake. He writes about human not being able to hear his whisper. What he didn't know was the animal couldn't hear it. Hey, told Kathy, the Toy Town Express. She spun around, ready to race to the toy department, forgetting her tail. It swung around too. This time, he held a priceless pearl necklace. Cassie tugged her tail. Oops! The necklace snapped. Pearl went everywhere, and Cassie went flying. Ah! Ouch! So did the greedy boy. The rolling pearl sent them settling to the floor. They tumbled to the ground, bringing the Everglades emerald with them.
Turned to see the greedy boys lying in a heap. Oh no, customers! She cried and rushed over to help them up. Please, let me help, I'm so sorry. Rupert was groaning in agony. Nigel still had his eye on the emerald. He wouldn't let a clumsy crocodile ruin his plans. He'd waited years to seal this giant gem. Oh, I'm black and blue all over. It can still be mine. It has to be mine. In her hurry to help, Cassie tripped. She slid across the floor, her arms thrust out, and collided.
JC turned to see greedy boy lying in the heap. Oh no! Guess armor, she cried, and rushed over to help them up. Please, let me help. I'm so sorry. Reptiles were grinning in a journey. Chico still had his eyes on the emerald. He couldn't let clumsy crocodile run his plans. He waited years to steal his gentle gems. In her hurry to have Cassie trip, she slid across the floor and was out.
Nose first with a table which held Everglades' ancient treasures. The table wobbled, the treasures wobbled, and they crashed to the floor. Cassie got up. She was horrified. What had she done? One of the ancient pots had toppled off the table, straight onto her customers' heads. So close! I can almost touch it, yelled Nigel. What is going on in here? At that moment, the boss walked in. Cassie started to explain, but Mr. Everglade wasn't listening.
The collected no first with table. The table held every grace a side gesture. The table wobbled. The gesture wobbled. Then they crashed to the floor. Cassie got up. She was horrified. What had she done? One of ancient pots had dropped off the table, straight onto her customer's head. So close, I can't almost touch it. What's going on in here? At that moment, the bar broke in. Cassie starts eggplants, but Mythic Gorillas wasn't listening. The tail it got I slit.
He had just seen the Everglades emerald lying on the floor. What's that doing there? Then he saw the pot, and the legs, and the bag lying next to them, and he quickly put two and two together. He was no longer a cross boss. He was a very pleased and excited boss. He picked up the emerald and beamed at Cassie. Well done! You've saved the Everglades emerald. Cassie was puzzled. Mr. Everglade pointed to the pot. And you've caught the greedy boys, he added. Oh, so I have, said Cassie. Chapter 6.
She had just seen the Everglades emerald lying on the floor. What's that doing there? Then he saw the pot and the legs and the bag lying next to them, and he quickly put two and two together. He was no longer cross-bought. He was very pleased and excited. He picked the emerald and grinned at Cassie. Well done! You saved the Everglades emerald. Cassie was puzzled. Mr. Everglade pointed to the pot. And you caught the greedy boy, he added. Oh, so I have, said Cassie.
See the hero. That afternoon, the boss gave a party for Cassie. The whole town was invited, except for the greedy boys. Nigel and Rupert were both safely behind bars. It was the best party ever. They were singing and dancing, cake and ice cream, and fantastic fizzing fireworks.
That afternoon, the boss gave the party for Cassie. The whole town was invited except for the greedy boys. Nigel and Rupert were both safely behind bars. It was the best party ever. There was singing and dancing, cakes and ice cream, and fantastic blazing fireworks.
Then Cassie was given a medal. It was the proudest moment of her life. She was a hero. After the party, Mr. Everglade smiled at Cassie. I've got a new job for you, he said. He didn't want Cassie to be an assistant anymore. Instead, she became Everglades' chief taster and tester with a tail tucked firmly beneath her. The end. Thank you for listening.
When Cassie was given a medal, it was a proud moment of her life. She was a hero. At the party, Mr. Evergreen smiled at Cassie. I've got a new job for you, he said. He didn't want Cassie to be an assistant anymore. Instead, she became Evergrain's chef taster and sister with her tail tucked grimy, firmly bred her.